It's Tuesday, January 6th. In the headlines, Jamaica Constabulary Force reports strong 2025 gains and sets focus for 2026. In business news, we learn how insurance is key to protecting homes, businesses, and families. Regionally, Trinidad and Tobago reaffirms ties with the United States and Venezuela at the United Nations. And in sports, JFF appoints Gregory Daly as General Secretary. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I am Denita Rodney. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is reporting measurable gains in crime reduction, professionalism, and community engagement in 2025. Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake outlined the progress while setting a clear charge for the year ahead. Speaking at the Commissioner's annual devotional exercise at the JCF's Old Hope Road headquarters on Monday, Dr. Blake said the force's transformation agenda is yielding real results, crediting members for making a tangible difference on the ground.
Last year, I challenged us to transform the present and secure the future. We were called to build on past gains, to pursue excellence in service, and to walk in faith and unity with the Jamaican people. I am pleased to say this morning that you rose to that challenge. Across the organization, we saw tangible progress in our transformation agenda, improvements in operational effectiveness, and strengthened partnerships with communities and stakeholders. In many areas of crime reduction, citizen engagement, professionalism, and internal reform, your work made a real and measurable difference, and for that, I commend you.
For 2026, the Commissioner stressed that transformation must be sustained and shared across the island, with a strong focus on strengthening the rank and file.
Strengthening our people means sharpening our skills, supporting one another, mentoring younger officers, and embracing continuous learning. It means recognizing that resilience is built through preparation, support, and faith. A stronger force, ladies and gentlemen, begins with stronger individuals.
Dr. Blake also underscored the importance of unity within the force and trust between police and the communities, describing it as critical to public safety.
When our bonds are strong, we operate better, we communicate better, we serve better, and we understand each other better. Trust, once built, becomes a force multiplier in maintaining peace and safety.
The Commissioner reminded members that policing with integrity, fairness, and respect for human rights remains central to strengthening Jamaica as the JCF moves from momentum to maturity in the year ahead. 6 members of the Judiciary have been sworn in to higher offices as Jamaica continues efforts to strengthen and modernize its justice system. The appointments were confirmed on Monday during a ceremony at King's House, presided over by Governor General Sir Patrick Allen. The swearing-in ceremony marks a significant moment for the Judiciary, as 2 judges were appointed as acting judges of appeal, 2 as acting puisne judges, and 2 as acting masters in chambers, with appointments taking effect between January 7 and January 12 through March 27, 2026.
Their continued appointments reflect the confidence reposed in their ability to discharge judicial responsibilities with independence, fairness, and integrity. The nation looks to you to uphold the highest standards of the office in which you serve.
The Governor General also took time to praise the Judiciary's move toward digital innovation, including the introduction of live-streamed court proceedings to enhance transparency and public trust.
The Judiciary's engagement with digital innovation also deserves commendation. The introduction of live-stream court proceedings marks a meaningful step towards greater transparency and public accountability. Such initiatives help to demystify judicial processes and reinforce public confidence in the rule of law.
Responding on behalf of the appointees, Justice Shelley Williams expressed gratitude and a commitment to the responsibility ahead.
I would like, on behalf of the judges sworn in today, to express our steadfast commitment, aiming to inspire confidence and respect in all our roles. We understand that the role of a judge is very challenging, but we undertake it with the diligence and fortitude it requires.
As our children head back to school, parents and guardians are being urged to prioritize wholesome, balanced meals over sugary drinks and snacks, as experts warn poor nutrition can affect children's growth, learning, and long-term health. The details in this week's Living Healthy report.
A lot of times when we're feeding our children, we associate them with snacks and juices. But we have to remember that they're human beings, they're growing, and they need wholesome foods. So whatever it is that you put in, that is what you will get out. Food is fuel for the body and the mind. So if you're putting in garbage, garbage is going to come out.
Good nutrition is the foundation for healthy growing children. The foods our children eat provide energy for learning, play, and strong development of their bodies and minds. And these need to come from all the food groups.
We have 6 different food groups in Jamaica, so we want to ensure that they're eating a little bit from each different food group. Keep in mind that children might not want to eat all of the same things all the time, but we want to ensure that they're just getting a little bit from each day. Toddlers will require more fats and carbohydrates because they're moving up a little bit more, they're more energetic. But when you become a teenager now, you're now working on different aspects of the body. So muscle building and growth, also hormones come into play. So we want to focus more on protein at that stage of life.
And these will look different for children at unique stages of life.
Usually for children, I know we would say that they would take fats and oils and sweets sparingly, but you want to ensure that their foods are protein rich with fat. So for example, you're going to be having your nuts, your peanuts, your avocados. When you're talking about energy, you want to be looking at a lot of carbs. So yes, we want them to have their grains, so their rice and their breads and their cereals, as well as the ground provisions. And then when you get to the teenage stage, you want to make sure that they're having more meats. If they're vegetarian, more peas and beans.
But too often, parents will instead opt for the quick snacks and sweet juices right off the shelves, not realizing that these aren't giving children the best start, but causing malnutrition in them.
Malnutrition as a whole can be overnutrition or undernutrition. So back in the day, we were focused on undernutrition, so we had to be supplementing the children, making sure that they have more. These days, we recognize that children are having more overnutrition, so a lot of refined carbs and too much sugar. So we realize that they're not having enough of their proteins and the unrefined carbohydrates as they should. So we realize that they're not focusing as well. They're having a little bit of lower attention spans. They're not learning as well. It comes from the environment, but the food has a lot to do with it.
Snacks like chips, cookies, and sugary drinks may taste good, but they are often loaded with salt and sugar, offering very little of the vitamins and minerals children need. Juices, even the ones that look healthy, don't have the fiber of whole fruits, and the sugar rush leaves children feeling tired soon after.
Children shouldn't be having more than 6 teaspoons of sugar per day. So 6 4 24, that's about 24 grams of sugar. So if you look at the nutrition facts label, you'll realize that most of these boxed juices that we're giving the children are excessive in terms of the sugar that they're consuming. And then we wonder why the children won't sit and stay still. And I mean, even with the snacks that we're giving them, a lot of them are empty calories. So it has a lot of salt and fats and coloring, and there are issues with the coloring as well. We want to ensure that we take away a lot of those excess juices. I feel that we think children have to have juice, and that's a big misnomer. They really don't need juice. Water is just fine.
So, what parents and guardians should be focused on is giving children more wholesome foods, even if they are picky eaters.
have them try a variety of things from day one. And just like walking, you know, you have to fall down a couple times before you can actually do it. So just because they refuse it once, don't believe that they will always not want it. So try multiple times, you know, try different ways to help them to taste it, help them to have control. Because what happens sometimes when we force it on them, they have a negative connection to the food itself, and maybe it's not the food. Sometimes it can be textures, sometimes it can be the smell, sometimes it can be the colors. So that's why processed food, they are more able to accept it because it's the same thing all the time. But watermelon might be sweeter or fresh on a different day. Other fruits have different flavors, so they don't necessarily trust it. I know it's frustrating as parents because we just want the children to eat, but sometimes we need to dig a little bit deeper. So just think about how you feel as an adult when you don't eat breakfast. You feel cranky, right? So just imagine the children. They are unfocused, they're going to school, they're unsettled. Breakfast is very important. It doesn't necessarily have to be something heavy either. I mean, a sandwich is fine. We want to use the multi-mix principle where you're getting something from at least 3 food groups at any given time. So bread is already carbohydrates, probably some egg, that's your protein, and then you probably want to give a fruit, whether an orange, an apple, mango, whatever it is that we have in season. We're very fruitful. A lot of times we think that let children be children, let them eat whatever they want because it won't affect them. No, but studies are showing that the earlier they're eating the unhealthy foods, they're more likely to have overweight and obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol going up into older life. As a matter of fact, most recently I spoke with a pediatrician. She's saying that when she studied, she didn't know that she would be seeing fatty liver and type 2 diabetes in her office, because when she was studying, that was adult illnesses. So what we're feeding our children is affecting them much sooner and more gravely than we expected. So as parents, you know, as the adults that have the handle, let us do as best as we can to encourage a healthy lifestyle in the children.
Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
In this interview with Curtis Hilton, architectural designer and builder, we visit the site of Hurricane Ivan that hit Jamaica in 2004. And we talk about the challenges of reconstruction. We are in not a Hurricane Melissa site, but dial the hands of time back to 2004. We're in St. Andrew, where Hurricane Ivan came 22 years ago and devastated the community of Caribbean Terrace. Take a look around. There's been no rebuilding, no international look at what can be done. And so we brought architectural designer and builder Curtis Hilton, ask him a few questions. Welcome to the Business Report.
Thank you, Denise. Thanks for inviting me.
Okay, so Mr. Hilton, 22 years later, we're here.
Yes.
What can be done for rebuilding? Give us 3 steps for rebuilding.
All right, as you can see, this area is totally devastated.
Yes.
The first thing you want to investigate is to find out if the government has changed the environmental space in terms of, are they still going to use this area for housing, or is it for recreational area, or it's a no more build zone? So you have to check on that. First things first.
Okay,
right?
so that's number 1.
Right.
What's the purpose? And you said no build is also a reality.
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
that means if it's no build, can you get financing from the bank?
No, you can't.
Can you get NHT?
No, you can't.
And that's National Housing Trust.
Right.
So that's it, no financing.
Right.
You have to take money out your pocket.
Not even that, because you have to find out if it is rezoned.
Yes.
Or is it a permanent no building zone?
No build, so that's not even your own money.
Right, exactly.
Which means you can't sell.
Can't sell either.
Wow.
Right, so that's
okay.
the first, that's a big thing.
Wow, that's big, yes.
Then the second thing is that if it is that you can construct a house on these properties, you have to check with the St. Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Council or Municipal Corporation to find out what structure will they now allow here.
Yes.
If any at all.
Okay.
If it is that they say, okay, you can actually build,
yes,
then you have to draw and design whether a house or an apartment for their approval, the Paris Council approval.
Right.
And then if it's a go ahead, then you can actually get a chance
but
to rebuild.
Climate
just in case.
change is real.
Yes.
How do you build to withstand climate change at this level?
All right, but every plan that's been submitted at the Parish Council, they would have done their checks and balance based on what is designed to say it is hurricane proof or earthquake proof or weather proof for it to stand. So the Parish Council will determine that. Also, in an environment like this by the sea, maybe NEPA is also involved in the approval process. And they offer expert guidance in terms of what can go here, if anything at all can go
and you
here.
keep saying that because maybe not.
Maybe not.
Wow.
Right. And then the third thing, if persons here, well, as you have seen, relocation.
Relocation.
Right. So that's a probability in this environment.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Hilton, for that short, brief synopsis of the reality of climate change 22 years later. William Craig, the Executive Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of BCMC Insurance Brokers, noted that homeowners are now actively considering structural safety and emergency planning, while businesses are reassessing continuity, data protection, and employee welfare. Insurance has played a critically enabling role in this shift as property coverage has allowed families to repair homes, while business interruption insurance has helped organizations to continue paying staff during recovery. At the same time, Craig explained to R.Today that life and health insurance have protected households from compounding financial shocks. I quote, "When used correctly, insurance doesn't replace resilience, it amplifies it." End quote. The BCMG executive chairman asserted in the interview. He, however, concedes that educating Jamaicans about the benefits of insurance is essential to change their perceptions, since many still view insurance as a cost rather than an investment. For the trading period ending January 5, 2026, the most actively traded securities were Kintyre Holdings Jamaica Limited with 3,642,090 units, representing 15.4% of market sales activities. Sagicor Select Funds Limited Manufacturing and Distribution with 3,133,604 units, representing 13.25% of market sales activities. Radio Jamaica Limited with 3,098,816 units, representing 13.10% of market sales activities. Based on trading on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, investor activity remained concentrated in infrastructure, energy, and manufacturing plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market, based on Bank of Jamaica data for January 5, 2026, Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. For the US dollar, trading margins reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling at $159.46 and buying at $157.38. For the Canadian dollar, moderate gains supported by a $7.02 transaction spread. The Canadian dollar sold for $117.09 and was bought for $110.70. For the British pound, continued volatility offered short-term trading opportunities of $2.10 in profits for the banks. The British pound sold for $214.15 and was bought for $212.05. These foreign currency movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For our credit report tip of the day, a credit score isn't a life sentence. It's a financial tool. When approached with intention, Your credit profile can be a reset, strengthened and positioned to give you access to capital that helps you acquire income-producing assets. The difference is mindset and strategy. Instead of using debt to cover short-term needs, you use it to build home ownership, generate cash flow, and create options that move you forward financially. And that's today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing clarity to capital, markets, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, Trinidad and Tobago's ambassador to the United Nations, Dr. Neil Prasan, has affirmed the country's relationship with both the United States of America and Venezuela. Dr. Prasan made his remarks as he addressed the emergency session of the United Nations Security Council on Monday.
In a brief statement to the United Nations Security Council on Monday, Trinidad and Tobago's ambassador to the international body, Dr. Neil Prasan, highlighted this country's position in the wake of the recent events in Venezuela.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago, while valuing its long-standing and robust partnership with the United States, remains equally committed to maintaining a constructive and respectful relationship with the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, and continues to uphold peaceful relations with the people of Venezuela.
On Saturday, Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro and his wife was taken from Venezuela by United States forces.
As a Caribbean nation, a neighbor of Venezuela, and a long-standing advocate for peaceful coexistence and the rule of law, the government of Trinidad and Tobago has taken note of the military operations undertaken by the United States in Venezuela. We remain committed to cooperative efforts led by the United States to disrupt and dismantle networks that enable transnational crime across the Americas.
The UN Security Council was meeting in an emergency session on Monday in response to the U.S. actions in Venezuela. Terry Ann Brown-Campbell, TTT News.
The United Nations Security Council held a meeting Monday morning to discuss the U.S. military operation to capture Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, who now faces trial in New York over charges including narco-trafficking. Venezuela and its global allies have accused the Trump administration of carrying out illegal actions in violation of the UN Charter. During the meeting, representatives from various countries expressed their opinion on Maduro's capture.
Colombia condemns categorically the events that occurred in the early morning of the 3rd of January in Venezuela, where we saw multiple explosions and air activity over Caracas and other areas of the country as part of a military attack carried out by the United States, which included bombings of civilian and military infrastructure, creating panic amongst the population. All of this represents clear violations of the sovereignty, political independence, and the territorial integrity of Venezuela.
The assault against the leader of Venezuela, compounded by the deaths of dozens of Venezuelan and Cuban citizens, in the eyes of many, has become a harbinger of a turn back to the era of lawlessness and U.S. domination by force, chaos, and lawlessness, which continues to afflict dozens of states in various regions of the world.
On January the 3rd, the United States blatantly launched large-scale military strikes against Venezuela, forcibly seized Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, and took them out of the country. It claimed that it will run Venezuela and even didn't rule out launching a second round of military operations on an even larger scale. China is deeply shocked by and strongly condemns the unilateral, illegal, and bullying acts of the U.S.
Panama also believes it's necessary to highlight that the situation Venezuela is facing is unfolding in an environment marked by the disregard for the will of its people, as well as by a sustained erosion of democratic institutions. In this regard, Panama reiterates that it does not and will not recognize the authoritarian and illegitimate regime that has held Venezuelan men and women hostage, plunged them into one of the gravest political, social, humanitarian, and security crises in our region.
Extreme levels of poverty, violent repression, and failing basic services. His regime's rule precipitated a displacement crisis affecting the whole region. The United Kingdom has long been clear that Maduro's claim to power was fraudulent. To date, Venezuela's National Electoral Council has failed to publish the full results of the July 2024 presidential elections.
The voices of all Venezuelans need to be heard, and they deserve governance that reflects their will through peaceful and inclusive processes.
The bombings on Venezuelan territory and the capture of its president cross an unacceptable line. These acts constitute a very serious affront to the sovereignty of Venezuela and set an extremely dangerous precedent for the entire international community.
In sports, we begin with football. The Jamaica Football Federation has announced key leadership changes, appointing Gregory Daly as General Secretary and Omar McFarlane as Operations Manager effective immediately. Daly succeeds Roy Simpson, who served as General Secretary for the past 6 months, while McFarlane, previously acting General Manager in 2025, now takes on his new role full-time. The JFF says these updates are part of efforts to strengthen operations and support the continued growth and development of football across Jamaica. We stay with football as the Jamaica Football Federation is pulling out all the stops to help the Jamaica Reggae Boys secure a spot at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. After missing automatic qualification, Jamaica will face New Caledonia on March 26 in Mexico, with the winner taking on the Democratic Republic of Congo for a World Cup berth. JFF President Michael Ricketts says interim coach Rudolph Speed is closely studying opponents as preparations ramp up.
Rudolph Speed would have gone to Morocco, I think it was, to look at DR Congo, and he would have come back having done some assessment of that team. So I just think we are in football at the right time, when there is some level of transparency, some level of equity and balance. So we are enjoying the relationship with our parent organization.
FIFA recently approved a record $727 million payout for the 2026 tournament, with every participating team guaranteed at least $10.5 million. Ricketts added that the qualification would be a major financial boost for Jamaican football.
It is historic, and I would think that this is a major injection for those who would have qualified. And again, I must express my dissatisfaction. I mean, that kind of a shot in the arm, we would really do well with that kind of an injection. But we still are working hard.
And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBC Jamaica. Thank you so much for watching.